Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this June 3rd, 2025 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Our Communications Manager, Tiffany Oliphant, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Tiffany.
Thank you, Chair Fuller. There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's board meeting, whether you're joining us in person or virtually. If you are here in person and would like to make public comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you are joining us virtually, we will ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda.
Thank you. At this time, I call the June 3rd, 2025 regular meeting to order and ask Tiffany to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller,
Present.
Vice Chair Rod Green,
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Present.
The following directors are in attendance: Managing Director Matt McDonald, Director of Engineering, County Highway Engineer Brent Schlack, Director of Operations Adam Lape, Director of Finance Dan Ackerman.
Very good. Please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So move.
Support.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none? Tiffany, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the agenda is approved as presented. We have 3 sets of minutes to accept today. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of May 20th, 2025, appearing on pages 3 through 13 of the packet?
I so move.
Support.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Tiffany, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the board meeting minutes of May 20th are accepted as presented. May I have a motion to accept the working session minutes of May 20th, 2025, appearing on pages 14 through 17 of the packet?
So move.
Support.
Additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Tiffany, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the May 20th working session minutes are accepted as presented. The third set of minutes is from the closed session of May 20th. May I have a motion to accept the closed session minutes from our working session on that same date of May 20th, 2025? Copies have been distributed to the commissioners at their seats.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion, additions, deletions, corrections? Seeing none, Tiffany, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the working session closed session minutes of May 20th, 2025 are accepted as presented. Next, we have time scheduled to hear from our county commission liaison. Commissioner Sanders has informed us that she is double booked, and while she's listening in, she has to attend to her other obligation and won't be giving us an update. So we will move on to the public comment section of our agenda. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board, and Tiffany will explain how people may be recognized to offer comments.
Since this is a hybrid meeting for both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually.
Are there any hands raised at this time, or have people signed in who wish to address?
No, Madam Chair.
All right. We will then move on to written communications appearing on pages 18, 19, and 20 of the packet. Commissioners, anything you wish to draw our attention to?
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
page number?
Madam Chair, on page number 20, I'd like to thank the correspondence from Carolyn Michelat regarding the project update on Towley Road, the reconstruction project. We just thank her for her response.
All right. Commissioner McCollum?
Yes, I also would like to follow up on that. I use that road consistently, And it was done in such a timely manner. I want to thank the staff, Washington County Road Commission staff and contractors for the beautiful job they did, timely job. And it just makes life much easier to have that road open. So thank you very much.
Anything else? We will move on, bypassing response to public comment since there was none. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 9 as presented? The motions appear on pages 21 through 25, background on pages 26 through 54.
So moved.
Support.
Additions, deletions, anything you want comments or clarification on? Seeing none. Tiffany, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the consent agenda is approved as presented. Next, we have one action item. May I have a motion to approve action item number 1 to negotiate the terms of sale of the 2 parcels owned by the Washtenaw County Road Commission at 6900 M52 in Sharon Township. The motion itself appears on page 25.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner McCollum.
I move that upon the recommendation of the Director of Operations and concurrence of the Managing Director, the Board directs staff to negotiate the terms of sale of the properties located at 6900 M52 in Sharon Township with corresponding tax parcel numbers of 0-15-11-400-005 and 0-15-11-400-005, and to counter offer up to $3,500,000, subject to approval by the board of the final purchase agreement.
I support.
Thank you. I think you meant $3,500,000 instead of $3,500,000.
Oh, okay.
Correct?
Yes, correct.
You accept that friendly amendment?
I do
All
accept
right.
that.
Very
I
good.
also think that parcel number is a O as opposed to a Z.
Oh, that's what I was wondering. And
You're
what,
correct.
and why do we have 2 of the same parcel number?
Yeah, it's 01511.
11400. Okay.
Can you
Yeah,
help?
there are 2 separate parcel
Yep.
numbers. That is a
Somebody
mistake.
help us out we want to get this right.
Yep.
What are the parcel numbers?
If we can go to sheet 55, I believe.
The background,
02, sorry.
so,
1 is 2. 1 is 5. Thank you.
okay,
Sorry, I missed that.
it's all right. So Shelby, is that clear, those 2 adjustments to
Tiffany,
that?
would you mind putting up page 55?
Okay.
Hold a second.
The map is on page 56.
Yeah, sorry, 56.
Yes. Second, I'm coming.
Yeah, and
Those are the parcel numbers on page 56.
Oh, on page 56.
Yep. You'll see the
Oh,
parcels
okay,
highlighted in the
there.
map,
Yeah.
and the tax ID numbers there are listed. So thank you for those corrections on the motion. My apologies.
so the correction to the motion that's printed in our agenda packet on page 25, the only correction needed is to change one of the parcel numbers to end in 002 rather than 005, noting that the parcel number begins with the letter O, not the digit 0. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Shelby. You're all set?
Yep.
Okay. Any discussion? Managing Director, did you have anything you wanted to share with us on this motion?
Just that, we've talked in length with previously, the write-up covers the history, so to speak, and we're at a point where staff is recommending moving forward with entering into discussions for a purchase agreement with the unsolicited offer. Ultimately, we've got the 2 parcels listed up front here. There are 2 parcels totaling 85.5 acres. So that's where we're at. Obviously, once a tentative agreement is set, it would come back to the board
Mhm.
for final approval.
Okay. So this is just directing staff to negotiate on our behalf.
Correct.
Got it.
And then we'd work with Mr. Alan Philbrook, who's here, if there are questions, but we would work with Alan and obviously the folks that submitted the unsolicited offer, and then come back to the board at its next available meeting with a recommendation.
Okay. Very good. I don't see any other questions by the commissioners, so if Tiffany would please call the roll.
Do we get a second and a motion?
I believe it.
I just want to make sure.
You
Motion,
made the motion
And-
and
and
Rob
I
seconded.
support
We
it.
did? Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I
Mhm.
heard that right. Okay. Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, action item number 1 is approved as presented.
thank you.
We will move on to reports, starting with Commissioner Green.
I have no report, Madam Chair.
All right, Commissioner McCollum?
Madam Chair, I watched the 2025 Washington County Road Commission construction kickoff. It was very informative, and I enjoyed the questions at the end from the public. And that's my report. Thank you.
All right. I will report that I too sat in on the live webinar for the 2025 construction season kickoff on May 21st. Thought it was very well drafted. The information was presented in a cogent way. It flowed very nicely. And there was nice variety between who was speaking on behalf of the road commission. So it didn't, nobody drifted off, I don't think. And then on May 28th, I attended the weekly chat session and we did not have any visitors that day. We'll move on to staff reports. They appear on pages 57 through 69, and I'll turn it over to Matt.
Thank you, Chair Fuller. Start off by asking if there's any questions. We have the finance report, HR and recruiting, IT report, and I'm sure Dan will touch on the MTF report during his presentation as well.
So Commissioner McCollum, you have a question?
Oh, yes, for the managing director.
Sure.
So on page 59,
Hmm?
you talk about, I don't know how to pronounce that, Acumatica, Acumatica Enterprise. So I was just wondering why it's going to take 6 to 9 months to get the system up and running. That's like December or something like that.
So we are working with a consultant that specializes in selling for Acumatica, and then they know the software very well. We've started with discovery meetings to understand how road commissions operate, our workflows, different aspects of the organization. We met on over the course of 3 days. Now they're going to be working on small projects on how best to set up the software, and then all the accounting. Dan can speak to the accounting better than I, but ultimately there also is going to be some integration for things like we use Oxcart for permitting, and we want to be able to have Oxcart talk to Acumatica. We have some payroll and timekeeping specifics that we need set up. And ultimately, we're hopeful it's closer to 6, but it may roll over into next year as well. More on that 9. So we're starting the journey. We're one of the first road commissions, but there are several that are going down the same journey with Acumatica and implementing it as its new enterprise resource planning software. So, and it's all web-based. I think it's going to be a huge step forward for our organizations. We've talked about this in the past, and we're very excited, but it is going to take some time because there's testing built in, and then ultimately we want it working to go through the elaborate testing, because once we go live, it's basically getting a new phone. It's going to transport all the data from the old system to the new phone, or to the new enterprise software, essentially. And then we're going to be using it from that date forward. We'll still have the precision to look back on records in the past, but ultimately moving forward, once that live date goes, that will be our enterprise software moving forward. Dan Ackerman, do you want to come on up? We can put your report first. Sorry to throw off, but did you have anything else to add?
Dane Ackerman, Director of Finance. No, Matt, you did a nice job summarizing everything, but I mean, this is touching everything that we do, our payroll, accounts payable, all the main finance functions that we're utilizing. And some of these meetings, we were talking about best practices. So this is a global company, and so they have hundreds and hundreds of customers. And I want to learn what our best practices from them. And it might mean even looking at our procedures and updating procedures. Because we want to utilize the system the best way possible, get the most out of it, streamline processes, hopefully go closer to paperless. There's a lot to it. And certainly we don't want to rush this, of course. And as I've shared with the board, I've been through one finance software conversion in over 30 years. So it isn't something that we do all the time. And being one of the first road commissions, it's good and bad. It's challenging because since we are the first, we're gonna go through all the trial and does this work? Does this not work? How does the road commission function? So they're learning from us as well. So that's the challenge, is we're kind of in uncharted waters in a way. But the nice part is we'll be part of the design. So we're designing this potentially for all other road commissions. So from that standpoint, I like that, because then, how do our processes work, and then how does that incorporate into the system? And as Matt mentioned, road commission accounting is unique to the rest of the world. So that's where the consultants are learning a lot from us. It's kind of almost a mix of public and private accounting. So they're learning a lot of things from us as well. So like Matt said, we're hoping it's closer to 6 months, but we don't know. And definitely we don't want to rush things. We want to make sure, for instance, when we go live, that we're paying our employees timely and accurately, that we're paying our vendors, same timely and accurately, that it's incorporating everything that we need, but really moving all these systems forward. So it's going to be a heavy lift, but certainly we'll get there. It just, again, we just want to kind of take our time on it. So I don't know if you have other specific
No,
questions,
thank you.
but
Thank you.
yeah, so
I'm
there's.
just used to, when there's a new software or whatever.
Yes.
You put it in there and push a button.
Yes, right.
And pray.
There are several reports that we have to submit, say to the state of Michigan for, say, our monthly state trunk line billings. Well, that creates a certain report that gets uploaded, again, because it's an efficient way of doing it. Well, they have to do some of the coding for that. And there's other things that we submit to MERS and so on. So part of it is that they have to, code and test that so we can seamlessly upload any files that we have, or we receive files from KeyBank for our monthly outstanding checks that are checks that clear. So it's, when you look into it, I try not to get overwhelmed, because there's a lot to it. I haven't even touched on, we have to train our staff properly to make sure that, again, that they're utilizing the system to its full potential. And with the timekeeping, that's going to touch every single employee in this entire organization. So, yeah, I know what you're saying. If you get, I'm trying to think of a software, say like the Act 51 module or something, maybe takes a month or so, but this is everything. So it's going to take a while. Maybe that was your question. Why is it taking long,
Right.
a long time?
There's a lot of, for example, our fuel service, in order for the fuel service to kind of talk with Acumatica to manage that inventory of fuel. That's another integration. So there's various things that need to plug into it, that it's just going to take time to sort through. But we're confident that it will be a major milestone for our organization to move into the future with this
Right.
new
Looking
system.
forward to this.
Yeah.
Yes, and we have some great support from the folks that are familiar with Acumatica. They have a whole learning management system with training modules and communities. For instance, I joined, there's Michigan users of Acumatica, so there's communities like that online. It's really quite something, and like Matt said, it's a modern software, so we're excited. And like I said, we don't do this all the time. I've done it once in over 30 years, and the hope is we have it 30+ years after we implement it. And as Matt mentioned, there are several road commissions that have either also signed a contract with Acumatica or close. And so we certainly plan on partnering with them where it makes sense. So we're not, I don't want to say reinventing the wheel, but we have some partners with coming up with designs and so on. So, but it's exciting. So,
Thank you.
yeah, any other questions on that at all, or
No.
you just want me to continue with my report? I
Are
just
there
have
any
a
other
couple.
questions on the updates or reports?
I had some more, but on the human resources and then the Fix-It tickets.
How about we let Dan finish his report
Sure,
and then
that's
we'll
fine.
I
Go ahead.
don't have a whole lot to.
plan on the other
Yep.
questions.
That's great.
And I don't have a ton to cover. Did want to talk Michigan Transportation Funds, as Matt mentioned.
Last page of the packet.
Yep.
Page 69.
So April of 2025 was up about 4% from April 24. Year to date, we're up 4%. Trending well compared to our budget, but again, the budget is based on the estimates provided by the state of Michigan. Certainly in the second quarter, when we have more data, maybe we decide to adjust it, but time will tell. I'm waiting for the bottom to fall out. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but as you know, we don't know. There's really no trends for a lot of this information we receive, but so far it's been positive. So we're glad to see that. So I can't believe it's this time of the year, but we're starting to work on our first township agreements for 2025. Those can be sent to the townships in July. So we've been partnering with the operations department to determine which township agreements are ready to go, and finance will prepare the invoices for review. But that to me really triggers that we're in summertime when we start working on those. So that'll definitely keep us busy for a while. I also wanted to share that our 2023 Public Act 202 waiver, that again, we shared that with the board and we submitted it last October, was finally approved. So in mid-May, which is good news. And, I just, again, not sure why it takes so long to receive that approval. And at the same time, I'm working on the 2024 PA 202 information. Again, this is related to our pension and our OPEB and funded levels. So I'm working on both of those reports to submit probably later this month. I've been digging into our pension numbers a little more. My initial take is that we're at 59.3% funded. And if you recall, 60% is considered, funded satisfactorily with the state of Michigan. MERS keeps sharing with us that it's closer to 63-64%. So I've been reaching out to them to see where you're coming up with these numbers, because I would like to use that number if I could. But I don't want the state to come back and say, you didn't check the box properly, or you're supposed to use this number from your audit report. And, but I feel like, so the folks from MERS are very familiar with Public Act 202 and the requirements. So I feel like if we can kind of hash it out and I have a good understanding of where their numbers are coming from, and maybe I can use the 63-64%, then we wouldn't have to apply for any waivers because our OPEB is definitely above the 40% threshold as far as funded. And I guess I also figure I will document everything, maybe ask MERS for an email, and if the state says, well, you didn't follow the proper procedure, or you didn't use this report, that I would say, well, I consulted with MERS and here's my documentation in case. So, but obviously I want to feel comfortable with what MERS is telling me and what the requirements of the report are. So, you know, to be continued. I certainly will let you know what the results are, but I remain hopeful that we can, you know, get above that threshold so we don't have to go through the waiver approval process anymore.
Questions? Dan, does the over 60% number include the additional payment that we authorized last meeting or the meeting before
It
this?
does not.
It does not?
No.
Oh,
This would be our report as of 2023. As we shared, we will receive our 2024, December 31st, 2024 pension report, probably in the next month or so. So after you submit your information for PA 202. So this will be as of December 31st, 2023. And obviously this payment won't be until 2025, December of
Okay.
25. But it does include that grant that we received, pension grant.
okay. Takes a while to work its way through
It
the
does,
snake.
right, there's,
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes
Bit
there's
of a lag,
issues, so,
18 to 24 month lag.
right.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you, Dan.
Is that it?
That's all I have unless there's other
Okay.
questions for me.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Commissioner McCollum, did you have questions you want to address as we go report by report, or you want to do them now?
Well, human resources and the fix it,
Okay,
or IT, yeah, the IT one.
so those would probably be under managing director, yes? To
Yes.
Respond to those?
Yeah, happy to address
Go
it.
ahead, give him a page number so we can follow along.
Page 61,
Mm-hmm.
want to congratulate the new hire, Connor Cameron.
Hmm.
Also wanted to ask, I saw on here the various open positions. Do we have any labor positions open?
So the labor position is posted on the website, and the intention with that position is we'd put them through training and they would become a heavy truck driver. And that was usually what I've seen is when we offer the labor, there's a condition to pass the CDL training within a year,
Okay,
and then they would be that heavy truck. So ultimately, we have 3 vacancies for heavy truck driver currently.
yeah,
We would accept a laborer and place a condition on that
Good.
when we make the offer,
okay, I see.
but that would fill the heavy truck driver position.
Right.
Okay, I see. All right, gotcha. And my other one was just to say great job on the tickets,
Page number,
65,
thank you.
65. The monthly average was 111 and closed 112, and closure average days 2.15. I think that's excellent. That's what it say.
Thank you.
Great
They
job.
do a great job. Chris and Josh are very responsive to the organization.
One question.
Commissioner Green.
Thank you, Matt. So if someone comes in as a laborer, the expectation is that they will not remain as a laborer. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct. So we have that, the policy that the board passed, the CDL training policy, essentially, we'd hire them as a laborer, but then we'd put them through the training so
Training.
that they become a heavy truck driver. And there's a significant difference in pay. So a laborer comes in, it's a 2-step. So the first step is 1769, the second step is 2119, and that step is a year experience. But if they were to gain their CDLA, they would be upgraded to the heavy truck driver. Again, you can see the difference. Heavy truck driver, the first step is 2412, the second step is 2844. So significant increase in pay once they get through that training and obtain their CDLA.
And they earn while they learn.
That's correct.
So labor while they're in school, they're still being paid.
Hourly.
So they were working here and the tuition is covered
Okay.
to the tune of about $5,000.
Yeah, it's almost 6. Yeah.
Almost
Six
6
now.
now.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
And the
great.
benefits kick in day one.
And there are 3 vacancies for laborer now.
Heavy
Did-
truck,
Did I hear that?
heavy truck driver.
Oh, I see, but they can
3
come in as a laborer.
vacancies. Depending on the crew, yes,
Yeah.
yes, because some crews, they don't have the ability to have that labor position. A good example is District 2. They are of size, and the scope of the work that they perform, you could definitely have a laborer on that crew. A smaller crew like District 3, that would not be a place where we could support a laborer. Heavy equipment crew is a good example. There are currently no vacancies on that crew, but if there were, that'd be another position we could consider as a laborer. Because with the work that they do, absolutely, we could have that be a productive position while they're working towards getting that CDLA license.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions at this point? Go ahead, Matt.
All right, we'll start off with, we started with Dan, so now we'll go to Brent. Come on up, Brent.
Hello, good afternoon. Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering. So I just got a few updates. We are continuing to go around doing the engineering roadshow, which kind of goes through the basics of what the engineering department's about. We invite permits folks to come along with us. We've gone through all the outside yards except for yard 4. And we're meeting with the main yard next week, including the administration, signs and signals. So we're continuing with that roadshow.
So just as a reminder, the roadshow is internal.
It's
meetings.
internal, yes,
Internal meetings.
yes.
Make sure our own crews know what all is involved with the roles in the engineering department,
Correct.
which is great.
Yep. Yeah, it's internal engagement. It's been a great roadshow and lots of good questions. Active construction, we have Bemis Road between Stony Creek and Hitchingham. That one's active and the contractor's out there working. Our preventative maintenance projects, Liberty Road between Zeeb and Scioto Ridge Road. That's a mill and resurface, and that's scheduled to begin later this week. Of course, weather dependent. Getty's Road pathway, that's between Andover and Wexford Road. That's scheduled to begin next week. Again, weather dependent. We have some weather coming in later this week that may impact this schedule. Our neighborhood traffic management program, our traffic calming program, we had Foster Ave qualify, and our contractor is all scheduled to begin with that project next week. Again, weather dependent. We do have some permit projects that are ongoing. Our project down here at Park and Stabler, I'm happy to report that pavement has gone down for that. So we're working with that contractor. It's just the base level. They still have to put a wearing course on that, but the base level is on the roadway. They were out paving the pathway today. So hopefully they finish the pathway today, and then they can schedule to do some of their other work as far as shoulder work and restoration, and then get that final lift of asphalt on Park and Stabler.
So is that stretch of pavement, this initial course, what if somebody decides it looks great and I'm going to drive on it anyway, and it's 85 degrees out there?
That very well may happen, and we're going to be working with the contractor to look to see if we can open that with some temporary markings. But we have to work with that contractor.
Sure.
Of course, we want to keep their workers as safe as possible, but we also don't want a situation where people are doing bad behavior and going around our barricades,
Right.
further putting those workers at risk. So we'll be working with that contractor on deciding how and when to open that.
So it's the contractor's responsibility to ensure that traffic control is
Correct,
in place.
correct.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Morgan Road between Carpenter and US 12. This is part of road improvement agreement with Amazon. They are back out there working. They've placed some curb near the US 12 Michigan Ave intersection. And they're planning to pave hopefully later this week. So again, that's weather dependent.
Yeah.
A lot of weather dependent, but that's the kind of time of year we're in. So aside from that, those are all the active projects. Staff is continuing to work on, projects that will be starting up soon and then, projects into the 26, 27 year. So that's my report unless there's any questions.
I
Thank you,
don't see
Brent.
any questions. Thank you, Brent.
And last but not least, report. And we will have a reminder, we have a working session on our next meeting date. And there will be a construction update that I'm sure the engineering and operations part will go further in depth on some of these projects they're talking about.
Thanks, Matt. Good afternoon, Adam Lape, Director of Operations. So I'm just gonna kind of lead us into the next working session where we really talk about some projects. Just very quick overview of kind of what we're doing operations right now, project wise. So our crews are still working through Superior Township, making their way towards Salem Township. Hopefully in the next few hours here to continue the seal coat program for the season. Weather obviously being a little variable, so we're gonna monitor that, make good decisions, and then hopefully continue on through the end of the week and beginning of next. Limestone spreading continues. We're working through District 1, essentially Webster Township at this point. Working our way, we'll have some Scioto Township work and inevitably Lodi Township. So that's kind of the three townships in the middle of the county for now. We'll move and shift a little bit as we need to spread some stone in some other townships as well. But right now focusing in District 1 as best we can. Then gravel will start in District 4, so in Sharon Township next week, some 22A gravel. Small project there, Sharon Valley, I believe. And then mowing, this is really just general update project wise. Mowing began end of last week, beginning of this week, working in the southeast portion of the county. So that's paved primary roads. So they'll kind of start moving themselves north, kind of working that eastern half of the county there. Work themselves north, so we're essentially counterclockwise at this point. And then finishing the paved primaries, and then as we always do, into unpaved locals. Then this year, with a little bit of the change, we'll go back to our paved primaries like we typically do. But then after that, we will also go back and revisit the unpaved locals. But that's that second mowing that or second cutting we referred to, that we added money in the budget for at the end of last year to prep us for 2025. So that's kind of us currently projects in a nutshell, but like I say, we'll touch a little deeper on that as we go into the working session, really have time for question and answer.
I think that's June 17th.
Correct.
Correct.
2 weeks from today.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, Madam Chair. Adam, I took the back roads as it was coming from somewhere else. I think it was Ann Arbor Saline Road
Okay.
where someone was, I don't know if they were mowing or removing debris in the right of way. And it stopped traffic both one way. And
Okay.
so, but there wasn't anyone there directing.
Okay.
Does that normally?
No, that shouldn't be occurring that way. So I don't know if it would be an emergency if our group was working just to.
Yeah, I'm wondering, was
something,
it our group? It was a
or-
yellow, it was, I don't know what kind of equipment it was.
Yeah, we don't really have anything yellow wise, so it likely could have been a contractor doing something.
That's
but
what I,
maybe ask
okay,
permits and
that's what I thought.
Asplund's been all over the place.
Yeah, smaller contractors or maybe
Yeah.
utility contractors, they're in, they're out usually.
You know what, there
Struggle some.
was another vehicle about fiber optics and something.
That would have been. not
So
working.
I figured that because I know we would have people out directing.
I'll make a note on Brent's behalf to the permits group, so Gary Strait, just to talk to his team and maybe reach out to some of their blanket permits, which is kind of working throughout our county, and
Right.
just let them know, clean up their traffic. And
Thank you,
if
appreciate
no
that.
signs were there. We should at least get some shoulder signs. Okay.
Questions for Adam?
No.
Other than that? No?
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Adam. Mr. McEnroe, anything else?
I just had one other note, for myself, I'm gonna be out of the office, starting tomorrow. And I'll be back next Tuesday. I'm taking some leave time and, I'm gonna have a graduation party for my, middle son who graduated Dexter High School this last, week. So
Congratulations.
exciting time, milestone moments here. So, but I'll be out of the office. Obviously, our directors will be here if needed. But you can always reach me on my cell phone as well. All right. With that, that completes our reports.
All right, a few reminders here, upcoming, just so you know. June 11th is the blood drive here at the Road Commission. I am imagining there are still openings if there are people who can and are willing to come in on that day and donate blood. June 17th at 9 a.m., we have a working session, followed that same day at 1 o'clock with a regular meeting. June 18th is the Watts Annual Meeting, which is attended by our Managing Director. June 20th is our first Touch a Truck, I believe, Tiffany, at Revel Run on Dancer Road in Lima Township.
Yes,
then-
ma'am.
On June 28th, we have another Touch a Truck at the Chelsea Fair. Those are always fun. Great community outreach events. Chat sessions coming up. On June 4th, it's Commissioner Green. On June 11, it's Commissioner Yamas. June 18th, Commissioner McCullum. And on June 25th, Commissioner Smers. If there's no further business or announcements to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Support.
Tiffany, if you would, please. I'm still getting used to this.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Stay cool out there.